Right now, the Madison School Board meeting to discuss the future leadership of the district as the superintendent's time is set to expire this summer.
Plus, thousands across the country say they've had enough and they want a change to address gun violence. Their message to lawmakers.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. And new at 5, Madison School Board meeting right now to discuss the future leadership of the district.
The meeting comes after news broke that outgoing superintendent Dr. Carlton Jenkins is a finalist for the same position in Memphis, Tennessee. Jenkins announced his plans to retire from MMSD earlier this year. His time with the Madison district is set to end in July. The president of Madison School Board says the board is focused more on finding the next person to lead the district and less on what the outgoing superintendent plans to do with his future.
Madison is positioned really well right now, both to identify an interim this evening and to identify our search firm. And then we'll work with the community to create a timeline that really allows for us to attract the best candidate pool, as well as create as much stability as possible for our students and our educators moving forward.
The Memphis-Shelby County School Board is reportedly not satisfied with Jenkins or two other finalists and has temporarily paused their search. Let's get a check on the weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is out on the snowy weather patio. Look at that.
Unreal, Gary.
You know, when I was last out here, temperatures were around 80 degrees, and that was just a couple of days ago. So how quickly things can change, but they're going to change again over the next couple of days. This is snow vision snowfall accumulation estimates, and you can see where the bullseye area was. Up toward La Crosse and Black River Falls, that area just got hammered with over a foot of snow, some areas close to 2 feet. From Madison to the south and east, amounts are generally around an inch, maybe 2 inches in a few spots, and then heavier amounts as you move between Madison and the Dells. High-resolution radar shows just a few scattered snow flurries across Dodge and Jefferson counties moving to the east. Those should pretty much be gone before too long. But take a look at this. The severe weather outlook for Wednesday already calls for the potential for severe thunderstorms here as we warm back up into the 50s and 60s. Visible cloud track shows a lot of clearing out to the west, so eventually we'll see those skies clear overnight with that snow on the ground. Temperatures are cold. You can tell where the sun is shining. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s to the west, and then mainly in the 30s, basically from about Grant County eastward and into Dane County. Here in Dane County right now, Madison at 36, Middleton 36, only 35 degrees in Sun Prairie. And look for temperatures to remain chilly, probably in the middle to upper 30s, holding nearly steady with cloudy skies this evening. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes everything from melting snow to severe weather.
Gary, thank you. A Missouri teen is recovering at home after he was shot in a Kansas City neighborhood for accidentally going to the wrong address to pick up his younger brothers. Family members say Ralph Yarl went to a home on 115th Street instead of 115th Terrace. When the homeowner came to the door, he allegedly shot Yarl in the head. And again, after the teen fell to the ground, the homeowner was arrested but released after a 24-hour hold. Kansas City police say they're still investigating to determine whether to charge the shooter.
There is a thorough investigation underway now. There will be a thorough review in the prosecutor's office. We will make sure we do all we can to be fair, to make sure that we're as expeditious as possible.
Meanwhile, financial support is pouring in for Yarl. A GoFundMe page has raised more than $1.7 million for medical expenses, college education, and a planned trip to West Africa.
We're learning more tonight about the victims of this weekend's mass shooting at a 16-year-old's birthday party in Dadeville, Alabama. Police say 4 people were killed and 28 others were hurt, mostly teenagers. So far, there have been no arrests. Omar Villafranca has more from Dadeville.
When I heard the gunshot, I started to run from the building. Then I came back when it stopped.
LaTanya Allen recalled the moment she heard gunfire erupt at her daughter's Sweet 16 party in Dadeville, Alabama, Saturday night. Among the dead, her 18-year-old son, Phil Dowdell. A star athlete, Dowdell was just weeks from graduation and recently committed to play football at Jacksonville State next year.
I was standing right beside him.
Daquan Doss says he was with Dowdell at the party inside the Mahogany Masterpiece Dance Center, but the two ran in opposite directions when gunshots rang out.
I think he went right into it. I went opposite way. I wish I could have pulled him out.
Also killed 23-year-old Corbin Holston, 19-year-old Marcia Collins, and 17-year-old Shankivia Nicole Smith. Dozens of other young people were hurt and taken to the hospital.
It's very traumatic in the healthcare setting, in the emergency room setting, when you have one gunshot wound come through. But when you have 15, and they're all teenagers, our staff has been through a lot.
A group of lawmakers in Alabama called for new gun legislation Monday, something they planned before the deadly weekend shooting.
No child in Alabama should be afraid of getting shot and killed at a Sweet 16 birthday party.
Witnesses report more than one shooter. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward, but have not provided other details. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dadeville, Alabama.
And for more of Omar Villafranca's interview with the mother, tune in tonight to the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell immediately following this newscast.
And in the wake of those shootings, protesters took to the streets today demanding lawmakers do more against gun violence. A new CBS News poll finds 62% of Americans want to ban AR-15 semi-automatic rifles, but the poll also found stark differences along ideological lines. 81% of liberals think the U.S. would be safer if fewer or no people own guns. 40% of conservatives think the U.S. would be safer if more people or everyone had guns.
There's no reason for weapons of war to exist in the way that they do with no regulation.
We don't need gun control. We need crime control.
At this weekend's annual NRA convention, several Republican presidential candidates indicated there is no appetite for any gun control legislation within the GOP.
The defrocked Roman Catholic cardinal who became the face of the church's clergy sex abuse crisis has been charged in Wisconsin. A criminal complaint alleges that Theodore McCarrick fondled an 18-year-old man in 1977 while staying at a cabin on Geneva Lake in Walworth County. The alleged victim told investigators McCarrick had repeatedly sexually assaulted him since he was 11 years old, and even brought him to parties where other adult men sexually assaulted him. McCarrick was removed from the priesthood in 2019. New at 5, a diver who drowned in Lake Mendota last Friday has been identified. 63-year-old Dr. James Skibo was a well-known archaeologist in the state. He was found unresponsive in the lake shortly after being reported missing. Skibo was later taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. His death remains under investigation. Tonight at 6, our Arman Rahman will take a closer look at Skibo's contributions to archaeology in Wisconsin.
Well, police are investigating after 2 people were found dead inside a home on Madison's east side. Officers were called to the 2800 block of Mullins Street near Eakin Park Sunday afternoon. They arrived to find a 71-year-old woman dead in the living room and a 68-year-old man dead in the basement. There were no signs of any forced entry. Police say the man and woman were married. An autopsy is scheduled for today. Beginning tomorrow, a well-known Madison moving company is asking for donations to benefit abused and homeless mothers in need.
The ongoing partnership brings together 2 community groups. Our Kyle Pozorski joins us with the details. Kyle?
Well, Eric and Susan, 2 men and a truck are bringing back their collection drive this month as part of a nationwide effort to help shelters offset their annual expenses. They're doing this by partnering with shelters like Madison's Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, which provides support and advocacy to victims of domestic abuse. Shannon Berry says the relationship Days has built with 2 men and a truck helps to spread their message about domestic abuse victims.
Really giving voice to this issue and using their platform as a well-known business in Dane County to help promote this issue and to make other people aware of how pervasive it is.
Beginning on Tuesday, boxes like the one seen here will be placed at multiple locations and business partners around Dane County. They're asking for basic essentials like toilet paper, shampoo, and toothpaste to make life at the shelter just a little bit easier. Last year, the nationwide program collected more than 266,000 items for the shelters across the country. They're hoping this year they can collect more than 270,000.
Kyle, thank you. 7,000 students in the Madison School District will again be getting free bus passes to get to and around places this summer. The district announced it will be giving the summer passes to all middle and high school students through an agreement between Madison Metro and the school district. Madison Mayor Satya Roads Conway called it an investment in the environment by encouraging young people to navigate the city by bus and bike. Last summer, MMSD students took over 40,000 rides.
After a dominant showing in the election earlier this month, Democrats are hoping to keep that momentum going.
Their standard bearer for next year's election, Tammy Baldwin, announced her re-election bid for U.S. Senate, and new fundraising numbers this quarter show she could be hard to beat. Political reporter Will Keneally is live at the Capitol with more. Will?
So the top line number from this morning, Baldwin raised more than $2.1 million so far this quarter. Now, if we compare that to 2 years ago with Wisconsin's other senator, Ron Johnson, a little bit different. Johnson was still mulling a run while Baldwin here is declared. Still, if you compare those 2 years, Baldwin has raised close to 4 times as much as Johnson did 2 years ago. So now that is part of the reason why political scientists say Baldwin is such a strong candidate for next year.
I think it was widely expected that Tammy Baldwin would run again.
That's because she's a top-tier candidate for Democrats. UW lacrosse political scientist Anthony Tragosky says part of that is the fundraising totals that she can put up.
I think people have been really impressed by Tammy Baldwin's political talent, her ability to connect with different people all over the state. And so she can run a statewide campaign in a way that many Democrats have been criticized for not doing.
And Democrats need that. They have a razor-thin majority in the U.S. Senate. Of the 34 seats up next year, Democrats have more to lose. And there's a presidential race next year.
The risk for Baldwin is that she would be dragged down by Biden's low approval ratings if Biden does have low approval ratings in November 2024.
But Tragosky says Baldwin has done a good job creating her own political brand. Now, who would challenge her?
Mike Gallagher, yes. Everyone is watching Mike Gallagher.
He's another one of those top-tier candidates on the Republican side. A good fundraiser, politics that appeal to a broad base.
But the big risk is that as a member of the House, you don't want to give up your seat in order to run a losing campaign.
We've also seen abortion dominate politics in the last few months, with Baldwin playing a key role. Now, how will that shape 2024?
I do not expect the politics of abortion to be settled or resolved in any sense within the next 2 years. So I think the issue is going to change over time.
So while Tragosky says that, while some court cases here in Wisconsin might change the abortion policy state by state, Tragosky says at the federal level, we will likely see it be status quo through 2024. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Coming up, Gary has our complete latest First Warn forecast.
Plus, 10 years after the Boston Marathon bombing, today thousands line the streets to partake in the event and to move forward. We'll take you to this year's Boston Marathon after the break. And later, one of the biggest employers in our area announces a collaboration with Microsoft to bring artificial intelligence into healthcare. We'll have details on this epic partnership tonight at 6.
Modest gains to start the week on Wall Street for the Dow, up 101 points. The Nasdaq adds about 34, and the S&P 500 up almost 14 at the closing bell. And we'll be right back.
It's time to march into deer season. Get your John Deere 1025R with a 120R loader for just $195 per month. Get a John Deere now. And
power up at Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate spring with our big spring thaw sale. We're talking about savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board with our spring thaw sale. Save 23% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today.
Patio enclosures. Trust your feet. to Morgan's Shoes.
Birkenstock ushers in a new collection with clean lines, easier than ever closures, and the most necessary footbed in your closet. Slide into Morgan's Shoes and shop our new Birkenstock arrivals. See what's fresh for spring and summer. Birkenstock platforms and wedges, cork-powered sneakers, or up your game with our iconic men's and women's sandals.
Comfort with style. Trust your feet to Morgan Shoes.
Morgan Shoes, Hilldale.
A supper club. A place that serves supper. House coffee, garden salad, potatoes au gratin, bacon wrapped scallops. Old fashioned. That's superior.
Made with American biofuels, E15 saves drivers money, reduces emissions, and creates jobs in rural communities. Last year, when gas prices were spiking, President Biden extended summer sales of E15 and saved drivers nearly $1 per gallon in some areas. We can't afford higher gas prices this summer. We need the Biden administration to act again. Tell Senator Baldwin that President Biden must protect access to E15 and extend savings at the pump.
It's time to march into deer season. Get your John Deere Gator utility vehicle with 0% for 36 months and no money down. Get a John Deere Gator now and
power up at Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
Discover how Epic is joining forces with Microsoft to tackle staffing shortages in healthcare. How new technology could revolutionize the workforce and workflow in hospitals all across the nation and at Epic. That's coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather. Trust the experience of Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti on the First Warn Weather team to help you plan your day and alert you whenever and wherever you need it. First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storms.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A Minnesota Court of Appeals has upheld Derek Chauvin's murder conviction in the killing of George Floyd. Lawyers for the former police officer had asked the court for a new trial. They argued in part that extensive pretrial publicity and the court's refusal to change the venue were grounds for a new trial, but a 3-judge panel of the Minnesota Court of Appeals upheld that conviction, holding in part that Chauvin failed to show actual prejudice. The ruling comes just days after the city of Minneapolis reached settlements totaling nearly $9 million in 2 civil lawsuits involving Chauvin and the use of excessive force.
Thousands of fans lined the route of the Boston Marathon today, many still remembering the devastating terror attack 10 years ago. Jared Hill was along the course in Boston.
It was an emotional start to the 127th Boston Marathon, 10 years after the fatal bombing that shook this city like never before.
I am so excited.
Racers in wheelchairs were first to start, followed by a sea of nearly 30,000 runners covering the 26.2-mile course from Hopkinton to Boston.
I'm very excited, and it's so cool to see all of these people come together to do one race.
Over the weekend, families attended remembrance ceremonies and wreaths were laid at the sites where 2 pressure cooker bombs went off. Heather Abbott lost her leg below the knee in the attack, and now her foundation helps others get access to prosthetic devices.
I've made an effort to not focus on what I can't change. And what I can't change is what happened the day of the Boston Marathon bombing. So I try to look forward and think about how I can change the future and how I can make it better.
But this Monday, the focus was on the racers. 2 Kenyans led the way. Evans Chebet won the men's division for the 2nd year in a row, and Helen Obiri pulled away from the pack very late in the race to win in only her 2nd marathon. Runners showing they are Boston strong 10 years later, crossing the finish line in the same location. Jared Hill, CBS News, Boston.
So a little rainy out there. Let's get a look at our first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti tracking the snow that has fallen since Sunday afternoon. Gary?
Yeah, they got rain out of this system. We got snow, or actually we had some showers and thunderstorms and then snow on the back end of it, and that snow is really heavy. The bullseye area was basically over west central Wisconsin from around Vernon County northward into Clark and Jackson County up around Black River Falls. That's the area that really got hit the hardest. But those amounts tapered off very quickly as you head to the east and southeast into the Madison area and areas out toward Milwaukee. Take a look at some of these snowfalls. 22 inches in Neillsville, Mindoro in La Crosse County, a little over 20 inches. La Crosse itself at the airport picked up 9.5 inches, although the National Weather Service, which is up on Grandad Bluff, picked up over a foot of snow. But farther to the east, a different story. 9 inches in Lime Ridge in Richland County, but about 4 inches in Dodgeville. Benton in Lafayette County, about 3.5 inches. Officially, the Dane County Regional Airport, only 1.2 inches. And Milwaukee, just a little over a ½ inch of snow. 3 things you need to know. We're back to sunny skies tomorrow, but the snow cover will slow down or warm up. It'll take a couple of days to get back into the 60s, but then showers and thunderstorms arrive by Wednesday and Thursday, and we're back to chilly weather with high temperatures in the 40s for the weekend. High-resolution Doppler, just a few flurries over Dodge and Jefferson counties, mainly around Beaver Dam and Jefferson to the east. Those are moving out, and they'll be gone over the next couple of hours. We're on the back edge of this storm system as it pulls away the snowy part of the storm, now moving into Michigan. But with all that snow on the ground, it was a slushy snow that will melt quickly. Number of rivers are at or above flood stage. Much of the Mississippi River now under flood warnings, parts of the Wisconsin River under flood warnings, and more rain is on the way, and some of that could be in strong thunderstorms. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center already by Wednesday has us under a level 1 or a marginal risk for thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms with hail and gusty winds being the main threat, but also there could be some heavy downpours. And over the last 48 hours, you can see parts of western Wisconsin in that rain and then melting snow picked up over 2 inches of rain, and that, when it makes its way into the rivers, is going to cause a lot more problems as far as flooding over the next few days. Planning your night across Dane County, skies will turn partly cloudy after midnight, low dropping to 29 in Verona, 28 in Cross Plains, and 28 in Roxbury. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, over that snow cover, 24 in Camp Douglas, 26 in Lone Rock, Janesville dropping to 29 by morning. Look for a high temperature tomorrow of 54 degrees under mostly sunny skies, still below normal, but most of us will start melting most, if not all, of the snow. But future track precipitation from Wednesday into Thursday calls for the potential for 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches of rain, especially in some of the heavier thunderstorms. So flooding concerns will have to be watched. Our first warned 7 to 10 day forecast, temperatures in the mid 60s on Thursday. Depends on how far north a warm front gets. We drop back to the 50s Friday. Like I said, only in the 40s again this weekend with some rain shower chances, maybe even mixed with a few flakes of snow, and then temperatures rebound back into the lower to middle 60s for the middle part of next week. As we check out first warned traffic, here is a view of the Beltline at the Yahara River. Traffic a little slow on the eastbound Beltline, but the flex lanes are open, and for the most part, traffic moving pretty steadily, if just a little underneath the speed limit as far as travel times are concerned. Right now, a 14-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate, 18 minutes coming inbound from Sun Prairie to downtown on East Washington Avenue. Going outbound, 25 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990, 16 minutes Middleton to Sauk City on US 12, downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue, and US 151 is a 17-minute trip. That's your News 3 Now First Warned traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. As the debt ceiling debate becomes more and more political, how can you protect yourself from the fallout? That's coming up next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warned Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Could you keep it down? Oh, hey, sorry. I can't stop these kids from rocking, but I can help you replace all this. Rock on! With free installation on Felco windows, siding, doors, and roofing, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. There's never been a better time to upgrade your home. This offer won't last long. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Felco.
Wow, this is where you work now?
Figured I deserved a more inspiring space. And with home values being up, I had a lot of equity. So I got a home equity line of credit from Summit, and voila, added a home office.
Took your business to the next level.
Hey, you two have been in your place for a couple years now. Any fun plans?
Well, we just finished a refi with Summit.
Really?
And the plan is to make a bunch of great memories.
We're gonna use the savings to get a camper.
Whatever your goals, Summit Credit Union can help you use your home's equity to go get them. When an appliance you rely on goes kaput, you can count on family-owned Brothers Maine, Southern Wisconsin's local appliance authority since 1938. With thousands of in-stock options, we have the brands you want at the lowest prices guaranteed. Even big box can't beat our prices. Our experienced team of appliance experts will help you make the right selection, and we deliver it fast and free to your home. What you need when you need it. Shop appliances you can bring home today at our Madison and Janesville showrooms. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
Are record high energy and water costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you may not ask for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to be without heat, water, or power. For a hand up, apply today.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
Hit the ground running in the most adventurous Honda vehicles yet. Like the Pilot and Passport Trail Sport, or the Ridgeline, made more rugged with better off-road performance, and more capable with different driving modes available to conquer snow, mud, and sand. Adventure on in a Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
As Congress returns from its spring break, lawmakers are staring down a long list of critical issues, and at the top is raising the nation's debt ceiling.
But a simple procedural vote has now become a complicated political debate with real-world implications for your wallet. Mike Valerio explains how you can protect yourself from the fallout.
A financial crisis may be looming.
If it did happen, it would have very, very negative impact.
As lawmakers in Washington have yet to come to an agreement on raising the nation's debt ceiling.
I understand the politics, but there is a time when the higher interest of a nation has to prevail.
Democrats are seeking a clean bill to increase the country's borrowing capacity. But House Republicans want to leverage their slim majority to win concessions on spending from the White House.
A no strings attached debt limit increase will not pass.
That kind of discussion, the cuts, belongs in a discussion about the budget, not as a precondition for avoiding default.
A default on U.S. debt payments would cut off the U.S. Treasury from borrowing, potentially affecting Social Security payments, veterans benefits, and federal employees' salaries, among others. To guard your finances in case of a potential default, Bankrate's Greg McBride advises paying down your debt and building up emergency savings.
Unfortunately, we're hostage to this because there aren't a whole lot of action steps that we as consumers can take to fully insulate ourselves.
And says the political brinksmanship alone is damaging.
Even if it gets solved at the 11th hour, markets get nervous. And when that happens, there's less incentive or less appetite for risk.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
We'll have one final look at your first warn forecast after a short break.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Create the ultimate backyard getaway with 11% off everything at Menards. We have the best selection of decking, blocks, grills, and outdoor furniture to transform your yard from ordinary to extraordinary. Head to the garden center and check out all the plants and soils you need to keep your garden growing strong. Add a finishing touch with a 6-piece patio set, just $499.99 after 11% rebate. Save big money on your next project now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Join the Circle of Life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or current Chevy owners get $3,750 total cash allowance on all 2023 Silverado pickups with a turbo high-output engine. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy and water providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today.
Patio enclosures.
Team, I need a volunteer. We need promotional products.
I'm on it. 4imprint makes promotional product success easy. For high-quality items, go to 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way. All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Let's go to Gary. Final check of the forecast.
Yeah, chilly out there, but look on the far western horizon. Maybe a little bit of sunshine.
Very little.
You got to look. There's the Platteville Queeby Radio Skycam. Every little bit will help. It's actually warmer in Platteville than it is here in Madison. The last of the flurries heading off to the east with those temperatures in the 30s underneath the cloud cover. You can tell where it's sunny because temperatures are a little warmer.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes with News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.